Hey toy and collectible fans, flyguy for TekSushi.com. Hot Toys time. Finally got this guy here, bit of a delay, but finally managed to get it. The Marvel Avengers Thor. There's a look at the packaging, and it's beautifully presented, laminated way. And not much else to really show you on the box, but we'll give you a spin around anyway. We do get a little silver hammer, which is rather cool. And there's flatten it slightly, you'll see a picture of the man himself. I have to say, I'm not a great fan of this figure. I'm not even actually really a great fan of the character overall, but I get such a slagging from my good lady wife and good friend DC that I was going to collect all the Hot Toys Avengers bar Thor, and they just thought I was nuts, so I gave in and I picked him up. Not a bad figure, but not one of my favourites. But that's the outside of the sleeve packaging. Open that up and you get a large box that says Thor on it. Nothing really inside, that's the upside down, there we go. So little Avengers logo on the side, hammers on there, and some more details of who designed and put together Thor itself and his 1/6 scale beauty. That is that. Inside the box you get really nothing else other than, everything's upside down today, two different sets of different hands, so opens and close and finger pointing and gripping and so forth, and some extra little connection points there if they break, as they sometimes tend to do. The cape's very well presented by Hot Toys inside the box, so it comes out looking very smooth and very like drapes, as they say in the movie. So that's pretty much the box. There's not a great deal else to show you. We do have a standard Avengers or Hot Toys stand, and as you can see it says Thor on it. Not a great deal else to write home about. It's got one of those usual kind of groin pieces which hold it all together, and that's pretty much all we have to go on. Now it comes with a few accessories, and here is the man himself. Whoops, one dripping hammer. The hammer is absolutely mega heavy. It's really absolutely solid. So just watch how you display it or drop it around. It's mega solid. There's the inscription you can just about see on the hammer. So I'm not going to translate it, but it's in the movie. I think it says whatever. By grab Thor's hammer. Wrong movie, but you know what I mean. So loads of detail on this hammer. I'm going to take it out of his hand there and show you in more detail, because I have to say it's the standout piece of the set. So he only comes with one other accessory, which is the one where he basically transports Loki back to Asgard. But great detail on this hammer. It really is solid. So solid kind of pewter metal. I don't know what it is, but it looks the part. Loads and loads of intricate detail on it there on either side, so hence I'm showing you a lot of it. And again once more. So it comes with a leather kind of strap around the handle, and again beautifully done. All the detail on this, as it should be for an expensive Hot Toy, is beautifully done, and it's a leather strap to wrap around his arm. I picked this up from the awesome dudes at shopforme.com.au here in Australia. A little bit cheaper for me to do that than get it from Sideshow or any other place. So thanks to the lads there, much appreciated. Get hold of that. And looking at the figure, in fact, before we look at the figure, we'll look at the other device there. The Tesseract Cube is inside this device, which transports them back, which somehow in the Avengers Thor conveniently manages to find to take them home. This is a bit unusual, but there we go. So you cannot remove the Tesseract Cube inside, so don't try to, as the instructions tell you. It's just held inside. You can barely see it, but there's a little bit of thin clear plastic holding it on there to make it look as if it's floating inside. But beautifully done piece, very nice, very screen accurate, and that's the only other attachment we get. So if you bought all the other Thors, there's been one other version that's came out, but it would have been nice to get a Thor that had the kind of sleeveless arms, which is a little bit more Avengers-like. This one, I'll show you the reasons why the sleeves are a bit of a pain in the ass in this one. But you get some instructions in there, and it basically just warns you, don't tilt his head down in case you want to, in case you scratch the body of the armour that he's got on him, and lots of pointing arrows telling you what to do, blah blah blah, all pretty standard stuff. The armour that's on him, as I said there, it's he's basically got his kind of musculature underneath this suit that goes on top of it, which is soft. So if you bend it, you can slightly damage it if you, I guess, if you leave it in the position far too long, or you pierce it with something sharp or so forth. So there we go. Do not attempt to open the Tesseract. And there's the hands and the stand, as mentioned. Just one other flyer there, which is in the pack, which just again mentions don't don't raise the arms too high before tilting the figure if you don't want to damage it, and that's pretty much it. So it says rubber body there to touch with sharp objects or heat to avoid material damage. It looks pretty solid to me, but it looks very metallic, but it definitely could damage. You can see the detail on it. It looks like chainmail, but it's basically pieces of silver rubber attached onto this other rubber undercoat underneath. So there's the facial sculpt on him. He looks a little bit, what's his name? Great Gatsby. Oh my god, my brain's just frozen up. DiCaprio. Slightly Leonardo DiCaprio there. Just me? No? Just me? Maybe. I don't know. I think this guy just looks a little bit too much like a gigantic Norse hairdresser for me. The mullet is just not happening. And it looks a bit skanky and washed, and it just does not do it for me. But the figure is good, the facial sculpt is good, and certainly a damn sight better. We initially saw the facial sculpt at the very beginning when Hot Toys released this, and it was not looking great. So this is a much needed improvement on that. It's definitely far better. However, I think they could have gone a little bit better on it personally. Let me just zoom in just a little bit sharper there. If that helps. There we go. So, make of it what you will. The hair is actually very well done from a paint point of view. You can't see it too well under the lights here in the studio. But it does have a very gold effect to it. Which again, I don't think is quite how it looked in the movie, but it just looks a big greasy blob in his head. It just doesn't quite work out right to me. The drapes, as Iron Man says on his shoulder, is actually really well done. The material's cut properly, it's ironed in a way that it just sits there, and it just displays really well. So there's clips of plastic underneath here which kind of go down to around about there, and it just makes the cape display properly. You can't move the head too much at all because of the drapes, but okay, I'll call it cape. But it's still plenty of movement, enough at least to give it a decent enough pose. So he does struggle a little to move his arms too high up, which is a bit annoying. I was really hoping to kind of have the hammer a little higher, but as you can see, it kind of wrinkles up this armour, which makes it a little bit difficult. So you almost want to display it in a very neutral position, because it tends to leave, I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a little bit of kind of memory in the rubber which kind of leaves it grooved in that way. It's kind of like a Star Wars figure with a bent weapon or an aerial or something. If you leave it in that position too long, it basically begins to recognise and absorb that kind of position. So that's just what you get. It is a toy. It is a toy. So he's got decent armour on him. It looks pretty good all over. But there's nothing else to really say on Thor. He doesn't have a great deal going on. The boots look good, and the design of it allows great movement, which is fantastic. So plenty of posability on the feet without kind of being hindered by this top piece here at the top of the boot. So even weathering underneath the boot. So even Asgard obviously has shoe manufacturers, obviously. But that's pretty much it. He's a very unexciting hot toy, I have to say. This is why I wasn't too fussed by him, but DC's all over. He loves it. I think he secretly fancies him. And definitely my wife was, she was like, you must get Thor. She's in love with this guy. So hi honey, you got one. But there you go, that's it. He's just not the most exciting to me. The gauntlets look pretty cool. I guess that's one of the features we could give you a peek at there. But again, that's it. There's not a lot going on. Good figure, and again, considering I've got the full range of Avengers Hot Toys now, we just had to get this guy, and he's probably going to go for silly money in the second-hand market, and I'm sure he is already. So he had to get bought, but definitely my least favourite. Hawkeye and Nick Fury just look fantastic at the moment, and even Cap is looking good, and Black Widow's on the way, so we just need Hulk and that Mark 7 Iron Man, which I think is going to trump them all somehow. Anyway, let us know what you think. As Thor's thumb there suggests, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you like this review of the figure. Let us know, that would really help us. And if you really like the channel, hit subscribe. And you can leave a comment below. Are you buying Hot Toys? Are you buying any of the Avengers? Do you stick into 3 3/4? What do you think for the Avengers is the best line for your money? Love to find out, so leave a comment, let us know, and we should be back with more Hot Toys and other figures soon. But in the meantime, you can join us on Google Plus under TekSushi, on Twitter, twitter.com/TekSushi, and on Facebook at facebook.com/TekSushi. If you haven't checked out our podcast, we've got some great people. We had Kai from Cool Collectible this week talking about his collection, and Eddie from Dorkside Toys talking about G.I. Joe and lots of other Batman goodies. So check out the TekSushi podcast. Once every month or so, by the time we get round to it. But that's it. Thanks for that, and we'll let Mr. Guy here, Mr. Thor, go and wash his drapes. Cheers. Bye.